Lakers, Lakers. Man, let's get it, Laker fam. Laker Nation, what's good, fam? What's good? Lakers come out in game 2, channel that Mamba spirit, man, to get the win over the Rockets, 117-109 to tie the series 1-1 behind AD and LBJ, Markieff Morris, and Rajon Rondo. Both bench guys, to me, unsung heroes of this game. Before I get into the game recap, if it's your first time to the channel and you're looking for a different flavor of Laker content on the tube, and you value objectivity, rationale, logic, substantive, empirical data based on a student of the game's perspective, and you love talking Lakers b-ball like I do, then you've arrived to the right channel. Consider subscribing. For those of you who are already subs, switch that notification bell to get alerts when I drop videos. And lastly, Laker fam, can you give the brother a like, a thumbs up on this video, as it would help it get seen more, as YouTube determines the videos getting seen and getting out more due to likes, due to their new algorithm system they have. I recommend people actually follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at the Lake Show for Life. That's the number 4 and then life. So at the Lake Show for Life is my Twitter handle. The link will be in the description. When I post videos from YouTube, I also posted to Twitter, so you guys could be able to get the notifications from there. But with that said, now let's get into the full game recap. First quarter, love the energy by AD to start this game, Laker fam. I've been emphasizing face up, go quicker, and he did that versus PJ Tucker in the Rockets defense. He has been aggressive offensively and active on the boards this game to start, and overall this game, getting his first offensive rebound a couple of minutes into the game. The Lakers need that from AD to win the series, and that's what he did tonight. Rajon Rondo had a stellar game rather, and was stellar on controlling the pace of this game, finding guys in their hot pocket, which led to Markieff Morris going 4 for 4 from the field, 12 points in 3 minutes from 3, Laker fam. Rajon Rondo had 6 assists. Has been great finding guys early in the first quarter and overall in this game. However, you know how it is. The Caruso stands, and I'm gonna get in on people this game recap in regards to their pettiness and stupidity on Rajon Rondo. Man, it's getting ridiculous. Honestly, the Caruso stands, they won't give him the props he deserves. But they're quick to judge him and blame him for losses like they did game 1. Y'all funny as hell, man, with that bullshit. But here on this channel, it's going to get called out because I value objectivity and rationale. So, but like I said, both serve a purpose to this team, Rajon Rondo and Alex Caruso. I have no horse in the race. I don't give a shit who does better than the other, who gets more minutes. The point is, whoever plays well, period, the Lakers are going to win. And both play pretty good. Rajon Rondo was good on offense and defense and passing the ball. Caruso wasn't good on offense, but he was good on energy and defense. And that's all that matters. So, good job to both the fellas. But Lakers held the Rockets to 31% shooting in the first quarter. Excellent defense and team rotation while trapping Harden and rotating back to the shooters. Lakers already forced Rockets into 5 turnovers at this point in the first quarter. Outboarded them as well, 14-8. Great job by the Lakers this quarter. They go up by 16, 36-20. Second quarter, Lakers starting off the second quarter pretty strong with their D Caruso to Bron for the alley-oop. Lakers channeling, like I said, their inner mama, man, playing with fearless competitiveness and hunger. You love to see it, Laker Nation. This is how we have to play. Defensive-minded, forcing turnovers, getting to the key, beating the Rockets up with our size, wearing them down, things of that nature. They did a good job on that throughout the game, majority of this game. But they led up, of course, in the third quarter. But Lakers keeping Tucker off the boards, playing aggressive with him as he picks up his third foul at the 5+ minute mark in the second quarter. I thought the Lakers led up defensively and was stagnant when AD and LeBron James went out in the second quarter. Rondo, at times in his game, over dribbling, has a tendency to ball pound at times. Players do have to move and pass the screen away, but Rondo always has to, move the rock and not ball pound as much as he did in the second quarter. He can get into a bad habit, then that's what results in poor offensive stretches where Rondo has to hoist up a shot, or LeBron James at times when he ball pounds as well. So he has a habit of doing that, and he has to get better at that, of course. But Lakers started to overreact on D and leave Gordon open, Covington open as well, as they should have been cheating off of Westbrook, as they did in the fourth quarter, who was 1 for 8, I believe, from the field. prior to the first half inning. Don't leave shooters open, man, like Covington and Gordon, who gave the Rockets an offensive punch in the second quarter, knocking down 3-point shots. And the main difference for Anthony Davis's game, he was going a lot quicker offensively, which is why he's had a good game in the first half and overall in this game. Catching the ball, reverse pivoting, facing up, going directly into players in their chests, and are going for the jump shot quickly. I thought he settled a little too much at times for jumpers throughout this game, especially when Lakers got stagnant on the offensive end. But nonetheless, he was hitting his shots and was in rhythm pretty much majority of this game. And that's where AD has to be, man. Face up, attacking quicker, not allowing the defense to set up. AD with 18 points, 8 for 12 from the field, 7 rebounds to end the first half. Size will always win, Laker fam, when done properly. It will always win, and it will always wear out opponents. And a lot of media and fanboys and things of that nature, people that don't understand the game and its nuance, they're gonna overhype the Rockets small ball and them knocking down 3-point shots and analytics, but it doesn't matter. Size is always gonna wear down the opponent, especially when coached properly and when used properly with proper spacing and patience. I've talked about this with a cat in the comment section who I pinned this comment to the last video. We've talked about this in full length in detail, and we understand the game. And a lot of people saying that the spacing was due to Rondo and things of that nature and JaVale McGee. The problem with the Lakers is they weren't moving the ball, and LeBron James out on the perimeter way too much. They weren't executing sets. This game they were isoing at times AD on one side of the floor, allowing him to be spaced out, like I mentioned in the comment section to that guy who was also a subscriber. I forget the brother's name at the time, but if he's listening to this video, he knows who he is. So anyway, that's what changed this game, is that they were clearing out. They were also running sets, down ball screens from strong side of the defensive end to the weak side. I've mentioned this in the comment section to that brother. That's the key, and they did exactly what we were talking about, and that's what changed for them, the Lakers, in this game. For those of you who are students of the game and care about the details, man, if you guys want to review that, this is the first video. We got a little thread going on there, man. It was good combo. I love talking about the game of basketball with people that actually know what the fuck they're talking about, where there's no emotion behind it, because that gets played out. I'm all about facts and objectivity. That's what I gear my channel towards. So it was a good conversation, but they did exactly what we were talking about this game. So good call by that brother in the comment section, man. Very good feedback from him. I always enjoy talking basketball with him, and it's good to see him back on his channel. But they're playing. Also, the Lakers are playing at a better pace. Like I said, clearing out for AD to operate offensively and running some sets to get him from, like I mentioned earlier, from strong side to weak side on the defensive end, and that was another key element that allowed AD to score in the block. Unlike Game 1, LBJ also with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Liked how he mixed it up, taking it to the hole, hitting some mid-range 3-point shots. They had spacing because of guys like Keith, KCP, and yes, even Danny Green's dumbass, man, who played bad later on in the game, but he was hitting shots, which allowed Bron to attack the cup because the Rockets defenders had to stay home on the shooters. And LeBron James was able to get to the free throw line and at times hit and-ones. Of course, they were not as good on the free throw line, but that's okay. That's another area they have to improve on other than doubling too early, which I'll get into later in this podcast, in this game recap. But Lakers going into the second half up by 16 points, 67-51. They also did a good job on Harden, making him more of a passer. And he had, I believe 12 points last game in the first quarter, I think. And then 20 by the first, or the end of the first half. So obviously it changed this game, which was a good defensive adjustment by Harden, by the Lakers not allowing Harden to get in his offensive groove. Harden was 2 for 6 from the field, I believe, 1 for 4 from 3. So like I said, great adjustment by the Lakers defensively on James Harden and the Rockets. And now that my memory refreshes me, I believe the cat's name is Estrada3 or something like that, who has been a long-time subscriber at my channel since I started it. Man, we always had great conversations in full length on details. So my bad on not remembering your name, brother. But shout out to you, man, and welcome back to the channel. I always enjoy talking hoops with you. But third quarter, Second half, Gordon starts off hot from three-point land, man, lowering the deficit to 10 points at the 10-minute mark, and then followed by a PJ Tucker 3. Rockets score the first 9 points of the second half. McGee, man, showing poor defensive awareness, leaving shooters open, and getting lost on the double team, when the Lakers are double teaming Harden. I swear, man, McGee has the lowest basketball IQ on his team. He does boneheaded shit at times that could hurt the team, and it did, along with Danny Green's ass. I don't know what the hell he was doing over helping for no reason as well. Danny Green and JaVale McGee were the result pretty much defensively in terms of what the Lakers wanted to do defensively, getting lost on the defensive end, which caused the Rockets to have open three-point shots. Harden then with a step-back three on AD at the 8+ minute mark gets the deficit to within 2. And then AD gets an easy bucket in the post on Harden. That's, man, for the Lakers to allow the Rockets to come back by threes, and what they do, man, was just idiotic. They let their foot off the gas pedal. It made no damn sense, man. They were overhelping for no reason, man. Danny Green killing the Lakers defensively, getting lost, overhelping, leaving shooters wide the fuck open. It was the same shit the entire third quarter, man. His defense was straight up ass. I'm like, get this guy out of here, man. Taking a dumb 3-point shot, which he airballed around the 5+ minute mark. Then fouls Covington for a 3-point shot, I think, or it was Daniel House, somebody. One of the two or whatever. But if Green ain't defending at the very least, man, and not providing energy, he offers no value whatsoever. And he's barely hitting shots. So, I asked Vogel, man, why the hell is he on the floor? He should have got Alex Caruso some more tick, man. Him or Rondo should have got more tick over Danny Green and KCP at times, because they're the most effective guards during this game on the team. Rajon Rondo and Alex Caruso. I didn't like how LeBron James was being heavily perimeter oriented on the offensive end with Eric Gordon on him. With another ball handler and Rajon Rondo on the floor, LeBron James will be able to go in the post versus Eric Gordon and operate on the offensive end, not having to exert all energy. You can't have Gordon relax on D. You need to draw fouls on him, get him out of his rhythm, have physicality with him to decrease his offensive rhythm as he was hitting from three, man. Having to deal with all that size and strength, like I said, is going to wear his ass down. Again, Bron full-time at point guard this series and overall in the playoffs is not a recipe for winning at a high level. I'm going to keep saying that. He can pass the ball, no doubt, but his greatest asset is him attacking the cup, full head of steam, and scoring, man, looking to score. So that's the LeBron James that we need. But Rockets take a 2-point lead on a Covington 3, came back all the way from a 21-point deficit. They take a 2-point lead at the 3+ minute mark. Rockets score 41 points in the third quarter. 41 points, man. Primarily, like I said, due to the Lakers' poor defensive awareness and leaving shooters like Gordon, House, Covington. Primarily Gordon wide open, man. When you leave them open, when their offense is predicated rather on 3-point shots and driving kick, it's just gonna be a recipe for disaster, man, for the Rockets. And then that's gonna get James Harden going and confident because we have to stay home with the shooters and things of that nature. It's just going to allow the Rockets to open up the floor a lot more. And you can't do that. So Lakers overhelping for no reason at times. And that was the result of why they lost the lead, along with Danny Green and JaVale McGee being the main catalyst for the Rockets, man, on the defensive end. They got hot offensively. Lakers' energy decreased, and it became stagnant on the offensive end, not moving the ball, not moving around, to the degree that they were doing in the first quarter, in the first half as well, which resulted in late jump shots and, depending on Rajon Rondo, late in the shot clock with poor shot attempts. Same thing with AD and LeBron James. That's not how you want to go, especially with Rajon Rondo being the main offensive, person that they want to shoot the ball instead of LeBron James or by ball movement like they were doing. But LeBron James, of course, in the post, or AD in the post, but rather not late in the shot clock. You can't have that type of offensive stagnant. It's too predictable, and you're playing right into the Rockets' hands. But Lakers fortunate to be down going in to the fourth quarter by 2 only, 92-90. Fourth quarter, LBJ ties the game 92-92 with a dunk, and then Lakers get a steal on Gordon, then a lob dunk and transition from AC to get a 4-point lead, 98-94, I believe at that time. Lakers were double teaming Harden again. I mentioned this on Twitter. They were double teaming him way too early and way too deep, which resulted and the scrabbling of the rotation and allow shooters to be open. They should have doubled Harden on dribble penetration, and when Harden was closer to the 3-point line going into the mid range. Rondo, the unsung hero of this game, particularly on that aspect in terms of knowing when to double team James Harden. I know cats won't give Rondo the credit that he deserves, but high IQ player double teaming Harden on the dribble penetration off the dribble when he got into the lane, man. Good shit by Rajon Rondo. Good adjustment defensively. Lakers only allowed 17 points as compared to 41 points in the third quarter. They allowed 17 points in the fourth quarter, so huge defensive improvement for the Lakers. Then Rondo and LBJ sealed it for the win with key mid-range jump shots in the closing minutes of this game. The change as well defensively was cheating off of Westbrook and sending helpers on rotations to guys like Gordon, Covington, House as well as Tucker for the corner threes, which he specializes in. That was a difference, allowing Westbrook to not drive and to force him to beat the Lakers on jump shots. Westbrook has the ability to win games, no doubt, with his energy, his competitiveness, but he also can self-destruct and lose a game for a team, man. We're talking about a cat who self-destructed versus the Heat, I believe, in the late 2000 NBA Finals when they had Ibaka on the team, James Harden on the team, and KD, man. Two lethal scorers in Harden and KD, and a solid mid-range defensive two-way player in Serge Ibaka on the same fucking team, man. He averaged 20-plus shots in that series and literally shot his team out. He shot his team out of contention, man, and turned over the ball. So a lot of times he plays too fast and makes poor decisions. So he's a wild card, and it's a pick your poison, or it's going to be pick your poison because you don't know which Westbrook you're going to get. This is a guy that's a wild card that has the ability to win your game and also has the ability to lose your game. Let's get to the player stats and team stats and close out this podcast and game recap. AD 34 points, 1 block, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Hey man, AD must have heard my challenge and me calling him out. He must have seen my vid, man. Must have seen my vid. I know a Twitter follower tweeted me that. He must have. Who knows? It's possible, man. Some of these players and media personnel be watching Cat's channels, so you never know. But, like Kobe would say, man, put your big boy pants on. And he did that. So good shit by AD. And way to grow a pair, sir. Way to man up. You had 3 little peach fuzz hairs on them nuts, man. Now you have a full sack. But LBJ, man, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 4 steals, 9 assists, 7 turnovers. Only negative, in my opinion, was the turnovers. I thought he held on to the rock at times too much and too long, operated late in the shot clock. But nonetheless, man, great game by LBJ to step up. Markieff Morris, 16 points, 5 rebounds, was a big reason why the Lakers went up 21 points in the first half, along with Rajon Rondo controlling the pace, finding guys in their shooting pocket. Speaking of Rajon Rondo, 10 points, 5 steals, 9 assists, 3 rebounds. Playoff Rondo in effect, man. I know, once again, he ain't going to get the props he deserves, but on this channel, I ain't no stan. I'm not a stan of cats, and I call shit how I see it, good and bad. Rondo was, one of the unsung heroes of this game with Keith. His floor general savviness, disruption on D, and adjustment on double teaming Harden in the fourth quarter on the defensive end. And then his passing ability was huge this game. Playoff Rondo is not a fairy tale, Laker fan. He's a different player come the playoffs. Playing point all my life, studying the game. I know what's up when it comes to having a point guard with those type of qualities that Rajon Rondo has. So sure, he lacks floor spacing at times and can be a defensive liability at times, but he's never rattled and he makes good decisions with the ball, especially when players are moving on the offensive end and there's actual sets, man. And Rondo, quiet as kept, Rondo could hit from time to time. Rondo also is needed because, again, it allows LBJ, again, I keep saying it, to focus on scoring, which, he's greater at than passing. Again, you can't have 32K or 33K in points or so and be a quote-unquote pass-first guy. It doesn't work that way. LBJ is a born scorer, man. He's a born scorer. He's born to score the fucking rock. That's what he does best. That's what he's great at. And having Rondo at point guard on the floor aids him in doing that so that he doesn't have to exert a lot of energy to create on the offensive end. A lot of fans ain't knowing, man. They just bitch and complain, and when things go bad, they want to blame shit on Rondo like last game, but no props. And this is the issue that I have with fans, man, is the lack of accountability and objectivity. But I give my channel on that aspect. Too many fanboys online and in the media, man. That shit's played out. Grown ass men, man, standing for cats. It's embarrassing and borderline pause mode, if y'all know what I mean for real. Y'all fools are ridiculous with that type of shit, man. You need to cut it out and give cats their props when it's deserved, and not just blame shit on one guy just because you don't like him. I know who y'all online on Twitter. Y'all just exposing yourselves with your lack of b-ball understanding, man. So I'll be muting cats as I do every day anyway, and not engaging in conversations with them about basketball, because it's clear that they don't deal with facts and objectivity, man, and rationale. I'm not about your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. It's irrelevant when it comes to facts and objectivity, man. So, anyway, with Kuzma with 13 points, 6 rebounds, was solid off the bench. Let's get into the team stats. Lakers had 3 guys off the bench in double figures with Rondo, Keith, and Kuz. Definitely a big help this game. It was different from game 1. 41 points off the bench for the Lakers. Hopefully this is a regular theme, man, to get some production off the bench. Anywhere from 30 to 30 plus would be good. So hopefully that's, like I said, a regular theme. Rockets were held to 44% from the field. Good defensive adjustments by the Lakers from game 1 to game 2. Rockets 41% from 3. They took 53 threes, man. 53 threes. God damn. 53 threes, bruh. They live by the 3, and guess what? They're going to die by that shit, just like they did this game. It won't always work versus size and better elite teams and better defensive teams. It's not always going to work. Sometimes it's going to work, but not always. The Rockets, they got hot in the third quarter and early fourth from 3, but it wore it off. Laker fam. Lakers have to do a better job staying with Gordon, Covington, and Tucker in the corner. Chase them off the 3-point line. Don't leave them open for threes. And then cheat off of Westbrook on perimeter defense, as they did later on within this game, which resulted in the W. But Lakers 54 points to 26 points in the paint. Huge difference from game 1 where the Rockets won that battle. They played to their advantages, and if they do so, they won't be beat. Also Lakers won on the boards 32 to 27. 2 key elements Lakers must win. They must win to beat the Rockets, man, and they did that this game, and that's why they won. Some of the main reasons. But tweet of the day, Laker fam, goes to my main man. One of my main mans on Twitter, man, that I chop it up with about basketball and hoops. Dion Apollo, at Dion Apollo. He gives Rondo's the props that he deserves, man. Unlike most, he states in his tweet, Rondo was part of the reason Harden was forced to be a facilitator. And then OG below him, in the same tweet, who I chop it up with often, him and I have been constantly saying Rajon Rondo's impactful, cats sleeping on him, things of that nature, because we both know the game. Shout out to the OG, the brother, CL Owens. He states, Rondo plus 28. I know some probably don't like him on the floor, but I saw the little things he made easy for LeBron James, and he actually made Harden work by bringing up the ball. Yes, brother. Yes. Rondo was doubling Harden as soon as he crossed the 3-point line or got close to it. Not as far out as half court, which Danny Green and JaVale McGee were doing for no fucking reason at all. That was a key. And then also coming from his blind side as well, Rondo. Rondo also 2 years ago, brother, in Laker fam, 2 years ago against the Pelicans was part of the Nile defense and 94 feet pressure defense on CJ and Dame. And they were a 7 seed again on the Pelicans, sweeping the 3rd seed team and hot offensive team in Portland Trailblazers at that time. I believe, he still has some left in the tank, man. Rondo still has some a good amount left in the tank in terms of his impact. Believe it or not, I believe that. But again, people going hate. It is what it is. He has good hands. He brings effort, high IQ. Can knock down shots. Also, Bron, being able to focus more on the scoring end, and Rondo's good enough to set up the offense and handle the rock. Helps LBJ put his energy into scoring, which again, that's what he's best at. Something about the playoffs, man, that brings the best out of Rondo. It's no fairy tale, man. It's no joke. All right, Laker fan, great comeback response after getting blown out game 1 by the Rockets and getting manhandled overall. Lakers responded well by channeling the Mamba energy, man, that Mamba spirit, by playing with more heart, energy, and better defensively and killing the Rockets inside as they should. Same formula, Laker fan, to win game 3. Only difference is not double-teaming Harden too soon and way out towards half court and leaving shooters open like Gordon, Covington and House and Tucker in the corner, and we'll be fine, Laker fam. Let's get this game 3W, man. Take the series 2-1. I believe the next game is on Monday or something like that, or Tuesday. But I can't wait, Laker fam. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let's go Lakers. Peace out, Laker Nation.